Greetings everyone, Denise here with another tutorial. Today I am drawing a picture of my oldest daughter, and I'm starting with the fine charcoal and blocking in her face and main features. I like the fine charcoal. It is so easy to erase. I can just smudge it with my finger and it's nearly gone. She had the cutest bangs because she had this quite extreme cowlick on one side, and there was a permanent part in her hair right there. Later on I'm going to have to change that ear, because right up front I drew it too close to her eyes. It should be further back on her head. But it's hard to see that right away. You can see my fine charcoal is getting quite small, and in a little bit I'm going to have to sharpen a new piece. Doing a little correcting, making her head a little bit taller. The photo I was working from is, well, of course, really old and really grainy. It was not the best photo to work from, but I didn't have too many real choices when she was that age. I like using this fine charcoal as an overall, well, background gray. I can kind of smudge it into the paper, and I can still pull it off fairly easily and get good shadows before I even begin blocking in the main lines with the charcoal pencils that are much more permanent. If I find I need to move a shadow, I can still do it on the vine charcoal. Okay, now I'm using a HB to kind of start blocking in some of my hair and main features. You can see I'm using a pencil extender there because my pencil is getting quite small, but I like to squeeze every little bit of charcoal out of it I can, because, well, I'm cheap. Now I'm going to the 2B, which is more, it's darker, it's richer, it's also harder to remove if you make a mistake that you don't want, like having to move the ear back, but those are the breaks. I didn't notice the ear was up too close until much later in the drawing. She had the cutest little perky nose. And very, very long, straight hair. In this picture, you can't really tell, but what I did was I brushed it out, put it in 2 pigtails, folded it in half, and pulled the end of the ponytail up into the bow, so it's half as long as her hair really is. Now I'm using the 4B, getting some deeper shadows and more shadowing, shading. And then using the kneaded gum eraser to pull off the extra shadows where I need to put white later. So this artist calls his gallery where his paintings are hanging and asks, "So, how are my paintings doing?" The gallery owner says, "Well, I've got good news and bad news." The artist says, "Give me the good news." "Well," the gallery owner says, "yesterday a man came in the gallery and asked if your paintings were the kind that get more valuable after you died, and I assured him that they were. So he bought all 14 paintings of yours right off the walls." "That's great news," the artist says. What could the bad news be?" And the gallery owner says, "Well, the man was your doctor." Oh man. I love a good art joke. There's a little spot at the corner of each mouth where the corners of the mouth kind of tuck in. If you draw the mouth flat against the muzzle of the face, it looks like it's been pasted on. But when you give that little shadowy dent at the corner, each corner of the mouth, it looks like the mouth belongs there, fits there. It's almost like a donut with the mouth on one corner or something, because they've got rounded edges all around the dimple in the middle, where the muscle comes forward a little bit. Isn't that interesting? I remember this little dress. It had the cutest pleats in the front. And as you might have guessed, my daughter is much older now. She has a daughter and a son of her own. But I like to remember the kids when they were like this age. There's something very magical about 3, 4 years old. Everything is new. Their faces are so round and sweet, and Always a joy to draw. So as I'm pulling off the shadows, that I'm preparing for where the white charcoal will go. And I'm using the vine charcoal to smudge around the outside edges to give myself a little bit more of a gray tone. I use the blue paper because it's got a nice medium value. But sometimes I want a little bit more shadow in the background. And sometimes a paper stump is just the best thing to smudge your soft shadows with. It's better than a finger because it gets in those little bitty areas around the nose and the upper eyelid and like that. I can see it right now, but I didn't see it when I was drawing this. The eyes are too small. Her eyes were so big. I'm going to have to fix that. And now I'm using the white charcoal for highlights on her nose and cheek and forehead. People like to think that there's a highlight on the chin, and there is, but it's very subtle. If you put too much of the white on the chin, it brings it forward and makes your subject look like their chin is sticking out. I'm using the stump again to soften those edges. A little more gray tone in the background. I'm just using a tissue to smear it around. Her hair is tied up with one of those big, oversized pieces of yarn. Everybody used them in the 80s. Okay, and here's where I realize that ear is just too close. And I'm going to have to try and move it back. And you can see I can pull off some of the charcoal, but there's going to be a kind of a ghostly image where it was. Nothing I can do about that. the eyes are just a little too small. Her eyes are just really big and expressive as a little girl. See there, doesn't that make a difference? Suddenly she looks younger. Sometimes you just have to make a correction, even when you've practically finished. Yeah, pulling the ear back helped a lot. And so there she is. I hope you appreciated my drawing of my daughter. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and come again.